The Microsoft Dynamics GP purchase order entry window is designed to have multiple users creating purchase orders at the same time. So if 3 separate people opened up the purchase order entry window, they would get PO number 1333, then 34, and then 35. If all of those users didn't create a purchase order then and just close the window, the PO number would get rolled back in PO setup to PO1333. So then the next time you use it, that's where it would start. The idea behind this is that it gives all those users the ability to allocate a purchase order number, and it keeps track of what the next one is. But then it rolls them back if they're unused so that you don't have gaps in the sequence. Unfortunately, it doesn't have logic in there to keep you from rolling back to some much earlier unused purchase order number. So if you were to accidentally type in PO800 and that hadn't been used, and then you realize that was a mistake, don't use it, clear the window, that gets picked up then as the next purchase order number, and GP starts incrementing from there. Now it does check so that if PO number 800 is used, or 801 is used, it would skip that and go to the next available purchase order number. But your POs now are going to be out of numerical sequence. WilloWare created a tweak in GP PowerPack to control this behavior. And it is called PO number forward only. And this has a setup option where you can tell it what the allowable difference is between the next purchase order number, which is stored in PO setup, and the PO number that you're trying to release back to setup. So you want this allowed difference usually to be at least 1 or greater. 1 would allow you to have a purchase order number that's allocated in the PO entry window, so PO1001. And then when you grab that, the setup table would have PO1002. So that's a difference of 1 between 1001 and 1002. That allows the PO entry window to release that purchase order back to PO setup. And you could have it something larger than that. PO number, allowed difference of 2 would allow multiple users to have PO numbers and then release both of those back. So you can do 1, 2, 5, something like that. It does allow up to 999. Allowed difference of 0 would mean that it can never release the PO number back, so that every time you start a PO, it grabs the next PO number and it's going to increment. It would create a lot of gaps in the sequence. So we'll leave it at 1. We'll enable that tweak, turn that on, then go back to purchasing setup, and we'll put this back to what it was supposed to be, PO1333. And now if we go into purchase order entry, we'll see that picks up where it's supposed to. And we put in PO800. Again, it takes it. However, this time, when we come back into the window, you can see that it picks up where we expect it to. So that is the PO number forward only tweak in WilloWare's GP PowerPack.